The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. It's your host.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Good evening to you. Just want to make sure we came on a little bit early. Make sure that you guys got notifications. You guys hit that like button, the share button, and all as well. And for those that may be here with us this evening, this is part two. But you didn't miss a whole lot, okay? But this is part two. I don't know if we're going to conclude or we're going to keep going because we know there's some people out there doing some stuff with their little check. So tonight we're talking about how to flip that check. Everybody put in the comments below, flip that. How to flip that check. In other words, how to double, right? How to multiply. And this is something that I think is going to be easy to understand as we go through this here tonight. But although something may be easy to do, here's what I found: it's also easy not to do because it comes down to choice. And this is what it comes. It comes down to people's choice. You and I, we simply choose what we do with our money. And there's a meme that I put out the other day, or today. I'll put that up in just a second. That says that. Let me put that up for you. That you're not broke, right? You're just spending your money on things that don't make you any money. Yeah, you're not broke. We know that in our community, or from what is told to us, right? We're talking about $1.4 trillion of spending power. So we're not broke. We're just spending our money on things that don't make us any money. In other words, we are spendthrifts we have spending power instead of investing power. Investing means that I put it out and it comes back to me and it brings me children. It brings me kids. I put my dollar out, it brings back a penny, brings back a nickel, brings back a dime, brings back a quarter, brings back a whole nother dollar. And so we get a chance to have this nice dynamic conversation here tonight as we are actually going to be going through the word, because this is actually a virtual Bible study tonight. And the reason why I did this, because I said, man, you know what? A lot of people they're going to show up to the D nice and they're going to jam. And they're going to have a good time, but they're going to still have the pressure of that financial burden on them when they get done dancing. So I said, well, why don't we take some time to study? Everybody putting guys on study. Why don't we take some time to do that? And so we can relieve the pressure, and then we can start dancing. It's gonna really be time to party, right? We gonna always be debt free. The chains have been broken. We can party all the time, man. Party all the time. Hey guys, I want to introduce my guest with us here tonight, man. This brother is all the way actually from Australia. We got another sister that'll be joining us here as well. As we're going to get into this thing here, we'll also find out who's here with us. So let us know who's here with us. Go ahead and say hello. Also hit that like button and share button if you care. Like button and share button if you care. Because here's the deal, guys. We're taking the time because you're our brethren. You're our brothers. You're our sisters. And we are your keepers. And we want you to be the same way to your other brothers and sisters, because we want to start doing some smart things with the things that come into our hand, the smart things with the things that come into our hands. So let me I'll bring in first my brother from down under, my brother from another mother. Oh, he got Bronza, the digital Hori.
I'll break that down for you soon. But hey, GJ, how you doing?
Man,
how you doing, America? How we doing?
We're doing this the world, man. It ain't just America. We don't know where this thing going. Matter of fact, I'm glad you said that. For those that's in the comments, man, those who watching us live, they go and let us know where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, quite possibly the World Wide Web, across Facebook and also YouTube. You guys can be connected from anywhere. We'll let you know where we're from. We want to know where you're from. Go ahead and rep your city. But Bronza, you don't change the name. Tell us about the name.
Yeah. Well, it was actually my mentor that gave me that name. He gave me the name. He gave me the name Bronza. I don't know why, but he just gave it and it stuck. And then the digital Hori. Now, Hori is pretty much our version of the N-word. That's what our enemies called us.
Okay.
But we were near, right? And so I turned that around because Hori was also my great-grandfather's name, because it's also the Māori word for George. So it's Bronza, the digital George, Bronza, the digital underdog, Bronza, the guy that doesn't know what he's doing, but he just keeps on doing it. He just keeps on working, just keeps on trying. So that's what that all means.
Okay, all right. Let me bring in. We got Renata McPhail. This sister right here, she's strong. She's strong, man. We're going in as well. See if she's ready. What's going on, Renata? How you doing?
Good evening, fellas. How are y'all?
Man, how are you?
Man, we doing it again, Renata. We doing it again. I don't know what's going on. We doing it again, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, man. So, yeah, we're gonna do a little quick introduction, catch up on comments. We'll get into I'll bring you guys up to speed where we are. This is part 2. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun tonight, man. So Renata McPhail is here with us here tonight on on Church Without Walls, our virtual Bible study. If you could tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do, Miss Renata McPhail.
Yes, so I am Renata McPhail. First and foremost, I am a Christian. I'm a wife. I'm a mother, and I am a teacher. I used to teach in the Houston Independent School District for about 5 years. I taught Spanish there, and then I ended up going to grad school, taught a few college classes, and then not too long after I first met Evan, I ended up starting to go out. I went out my own to go completely independent, and my husband and I started a private tutoring company called Pre-K to PhD. So we tutor students academically in a variety of subjects, both in English and Spanish. And then I, always had an interest in the background of trading and investing. And so I ended up accumulating various mentors and, became pretty proficient in both the stock and cryptocurrency market. And so now I also teach people to trade and invest in those particular markets.
Right. Oh my goodness. Right. So now you're teaching people how to actually invest and or learn how to multiply their money.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. What I thought you said. And Bronza, you didn't do a quick introduction, but go ahead and do a quick introduction as well.
In my native language, Bronza the digital Hori. Government name is Bronson Eduardo Perich. And I'm from New Zealand, small little town called Taupo, and I also link to the Hokianga region as well. And yeah, we come to you from a whole country that is on lockdown. Our whole country is on lock. Yeah, Corona's got us just sitting at home trying to be safe. And I come from I work in a journalist team in our local television network here that broadcasts in our native language and English, and I assist the reporters. And I've been self-employed, so that was how I hooked up with the GJ back in the day. And yeah, now I'm just a support guy. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's catch up on these comments, man. See who's here with us, man. Queen Tamika's joined us here. King Loki's here with us, man. Thanks so much for joining. King Alakebu, I can't never say it right, man, but thanks so much for joining. Queen Vivian's in the house. Good evening to you, Queen Marsha. How are you? Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on a virtual Bible study. King Logan said, yep, he's ready. They ready to learn. That's right. They ready to get it. Queen Cammy's in the house. Good evening. Ready to learn. Good evening to you. Queen Jennifer's in the house. Queen Tiffany. Queen Dorothy, thanks so much for joining, man. Flip that, flip that, flip that. That's right. King Dream Darren, thanks so much for joining. Flip that, right? Flip that check, right? Queen Rakita's in the house. Thanks so much for joining us as well. Okay, that thing that bounced up. Queen Shawan is in the house. Thanks so much for joining as well. Man, that facts make sense, man. Good evening to you, Queen Monica. Thanks so much for joining. Study. Queen Sabrina's in the house. God bless you. Thanks so much for joining. Study. How about that? King Darren is in the house. Study, man. King Anthony, thanks so much for joining. Study. Queen Lovey, thanks for being with us here tonight. Atlanta's represented, man. Baltimore's in the house. Salisbury, South Carolina's in the house. Mastique, New York, Long Island's in the house. Queen Tisha, thanks so much for joining. Hey, how are you? That's right, man. That's awesome, man. Congratulations to Power Couple. That's awesome. That's right. Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining. Mark, let's get it. All right, absolutely. Now, let's catch up on where we are, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. So, who is that? Somebody want to pray. I think somebody want to pray. Go ahead. Renato, you want to do that? You know.
Yeah. We learned.
Yes. Well, I can pray if you want me to.
Yeah.
That's just
Love
fine.
it.
Okay. The tradition I come from, we normally let the men do it, but that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. So, Father God, we come to you today, first and foremost, with thanksgiving in our hearts. Thanking you for all of the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We know that many in the world are suffering right now. There are many people that are very much so worse off than we are. So we thank you for food. We thank you for shelter. Everybody on here has internet. And to those who may be watching, who may be suffering, we pray that you send your spirit to comfort them and keep them, and to encourage them to just keep moving forward, having all faith and all trust in you, that you will lead them down the right path to where they need to be. Father God, we pray that every person who speaks on this program and every person who's listening receive and are able to give information that will be edifying to your children, that will uplift us spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and financially. May we learn to make lemons and turn them into lemonade and make the best out of this situation and come out of this quarantine and this pandemic much wealthier, much stronger, much more thankful, ready to serve in your kingdom. In the name of Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks so much for that, Miss Renata. Now, here's the deal, guys. How many guys? We have some homework from part one. Okay, so there's some homework from part one. Let's get right into this thing. How many guys remember your homework, right? So for those that joined us part one, right? I said, hey, we set up a little scenario. Here's what the scenario was. Say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Your master or your investor, right? It's going to give you $1,200. You know, you're down on your luck. You know what I'm saying? But the investor believes in you enough. He said, man, I see something in you. He said, you got something special. You got some ability and some talent. You can do this. Everybody putting down so I can do this. And so he says, man, I'm going to give you $1,200. And here's the deal. I'll be back in 7 days. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what you do. Now, of course, you know, hey, he gave me $1,200. At least I got to give him $1,200 back. Right. But I still need to have something from this as well, because I still need to take care and satisfy my situation. I need to solve some problems in my life. And here was a scenario. Say, hey, in 7 days, if you ain't double this money, you know what I'm saying? Come to get your kids. In 7 days, if you ain't double this money, they come to get the house. And so you got to figure out a way that's something that's legal, moral, and ethical, right? Without borrowing any additional money, right? What you going to do to flip that $1,200 into $2,400 in a week? So some of you guys have already been privy to this, had all day, hopefully, to find a way. And I said, hey, you seeking, you'll find. But I also told you, as you're seeking, you got to be careful, because there will be distractions that come in your way to keep you from actually finding it, because it'll show up. God always shows up. Sometimes we miss him, but he doesn't miss us. So hopefully you didn't get too distracted in social media. Hopefully you ain't been scrolling all day. Hopefully you didn't let somebody, get on your nerve for about 45 minutes, wasting 40 minutes of your time. Hopefully you stay focused all day so you can find some answers on how you can double your money, right? Double your money. So we were coming out of the parable of the talents. Okay, the parable of the talents, because this is a very similar scenario where the master left some money, and we didn't go through the whole thing. We're going to go through the whole thing tonight and see if we can extract some wisdom, extract some direction from the parable of the talents. So, I ain't got the best voice. We're going to come back to Miss Renata, right? And this is going to be Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 through 30. If you got that up, Miss Renata, if you would do us a kind favor.
Up now. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
On my Bible app.
And I got your message, Brother Bronson, about John 10. You got to unmute yourself.
So when we're going through Matthew 25, John 10 will look into the mindset behind the servants.
Okay.
Most important.
Absolutely, man. So Auckland City, okay, got you. We listening in Detroit. I say, so how many guys did your homework? Right, I want to see. Well, we ain't got there yet. We're gonna go through the script and we're gonna see if y'all come up with some stuff for yourself, right? You ready, Renata?
I'm ready when you are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's go. Let's get it.
For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded them, and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had deceived one went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So, and we read through 14 through 30. Okay. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents beside them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things, and I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. He also, who had received 2 talents, came and said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents, and look, I have gained 2 more talents beside them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Then he who had received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there, you have what is yours. But his Lord answered and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore, take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into our outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And when the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them one from another, as shepherds divide a sheep from goats. And he will set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom, prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Oh, I read past 30. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I just got into it. My bad.
Hey, wait a second. All right, so 14 through 30, right? So, sorry. Let me bring y'all up. All right, so 14 through 30. Now go back. I want to go back, Renata, to where it was talking about you knew, right? So these are people. This is someone who knew his master, who knew his investor, who knew his God, And although he knew him and he was able to describe him much, he told, hey, here's who you are. His actions didn't reflect his belief, it sounds like, or his knowledge. Didn't reflect his knowledge. So he acted out of fear where everybody else acted out of faith, and it didn't identify that the others knew who he was. Because it really didn't seem to be a matter of who he was, it's a matter of what they were going to do or what they had been given. But then you said, but here's the interesting part. Towards the end, you said, if you read this part again, those who have,
yes,
more will be given, but those who are those who don't have, even what they have will be taken. Yeah, read that again for me.
Yes. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away, and cast the unprofitable servant into outer darkness.
The unprofitable servant. All right. Wow, we got so much to break down in this. We're going to go one by one, fire action. Come up to you, Bronzer Man. Your first takeaway from the parable of the talents as we're helping people to get a greater understanding of, man, what do I need to do with my check? What do I need to do with this $1,200, or some things to consider with that as well?
Now, first of all, consider the Bible uses the term servant, but it means slave. So the King James Bible has the term hireling. A hireling is an employee. So these servants were not like paid people. They were property of the master. And we can liken that to now. We're pretty much all locked in the system, right? We all property of the master. The joy of the Lord was being able to buy your freedom. And so what the master was really saying is, look, you do this one more thing for me. You've made me all this money all my days. If you can double my money one last time, you will have your freedom. Right? And so the guy that buried the talent, he hated the master. He hated the government. He hated the system. And he was like, hell no, I'm tapping out. You know, you think you can make money off me? You've made enough money off me. And don't we have, you know, a lot of people feel this way in the system, right? So he buried it. And then the master said to him, how hard was it for you? Despite everything, all the beef between you and me, how hard would it have been for you to go down the road and chuck it in a 1-week term deposit? How hard was that? And so that's why he did not gain his freedom. In fact, he was thrown to the side. He got fired because of his fear, but most thing was his hatred, the trauma of being a slave. And I wonder if there's so many people that have been through the trauma of generations of slavery in the mind and the body and whatnot, that they just cannot conceptualize how to buy their way out of the matrix. The first two servants got it. They learned how to play the game. They were like, hell no, I know my master's a hard man, but I'm going to buy my way out.
Wow.
The last guy, and there are so many people in our society that feel that disconnection, that don't have the education, that don't have the good influences around them to help them buy out. So that's why I'm not too hard on the man who buried his talent, because we are surrounded by people who bury their talents. We're surrounded by them. You know, I'm probably the guy that would get the 2 and then double it to 4. I don't know if I've got 5 talents to double, but yeah. And so, and we know these people. We know them. We know their names. We're probably related to them, you know, but they don't know how to buy their way, and they're not open to the knowledge that we have because of their life trauma. That's what I see in this man who buried his talent.
Wow, this is good stuff. This is going to be a good breakdown. We staying right here. So here's some things that stand out to me. In our current situation, in America, they're going to give out $1,200 to everybody. Everybody's going to get $1,200. But in the biblical situation, everyone was given talent or money according to their ability, which I would say that the master has recognized, man, this guy, this one right here, that's my star student. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I got real faith in him. He's not risky at all. Boom, go ahead and do what you do. All right, this guy, we're gonna see, you know what I'm saying? That's probably what you do with your children. You know your star child, and you know your one that's kind of trying to figure out what they're gonna do. And then you got the one he's like, yeah, you ain't, he probably ain't been working all that hard. He probably clocking out early. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still gonna give him a chance. Everybody got a chance. Everybody got a chance. Right? That's all. So everybody get, obviously in this particular set, everybody not getting a chance, but whoever getting the $1,200 is getting a chance. And you're getting a chance, an opportunity to take a word, which is stimulus, and actually stimulate your own economy. Right? And it's going to be according to your ability, right, on how you're going to actually stimulate and or buy your own freedom. Isn't this interesting? So what I found, now I'm gonna read a little bit of my version of Renata. At the very first start, he said, man, after he said they went on the journey, the man who had received the 5 bags of gold, this is out of the NIV version, went at once and put his money to work. He went at once. Everybody put in council immediately. Now, I believe that the guy who had got the 5 talents of gold, just based upon hearing this, according to his ability, that the master knew that he was ready. But it didn't matter. It wasn't matter what the master knew. He clearly is like, you give me this shot, or let go. He was ready. He didn't have to research. He didn't have to ask mom and them. He let go. He immediately went and put his money to work. Immediately. Now we know, or we can see in our society, we already see what people doing with that $1,200. They immediately went to Walmart, bought some more TVs. Immediately. Right? So we have literally, it looks like we have we'll call it upper class, middle class, and lower class as relates to his servants or relates to the employees. I'm gonna stop right there because it's getting good. I want to come down to Renata. I know Renata seeing some more. Say, I'm gotta have a female because she got a different eye for this thing. She's like, oh, well, y'all saw it. Well, here's what I see, yo. Yeah, come on, Renata. Good, give it to her.
So, so that passage is really powerful, and it directly relates to, money investing. And I mean, even like I said, I read from the New King James Version. It even says trading,
So talk to me about that word. I like that word because you've been using that word. I use that word. I don't just use it. Yeah, trading. Oh, I like that word.
I love trading. I love to trade. And so funny, I can give you personal anecdote, funny story. I did an account challenge and I took $1,200 at the very beginning of the year and flipped it.
Look at that. What a coincidence. Go ahead.
And that was exact amount, $1,200, flipped it to $10,000 in a matter of a few months. Trading. Renata.
Everybody put in council trade. That's a key word for tonight. Trade. Go ahead, Renata.
So there's several ways that you can trade. Most people, when they think of the word trading, they think of trading in terms of being a trader, like in the markets. But there are many ways to multiply, monies. You can trade in the stock market. You can trade in the Forex cryptocurrency market. You can also become a investor and flip that money by investing in a business, by investing in knowledge that'll allow you to produce more, so the point being is you just got to invest in yourself. You can't take whatever, right now we're talking specifically about money. I think we touched on that passage last time in terms of other things, in terms of talents, gifts, whatever. But right now we're talking about money because we're talking about that stimulus check.
Yeah.
So, here's the point. You got to figure out some way, whatever it is, to make that money work for you, to multiply that money. I'm going to bring it back to a real practical level because there was a part in the passage that also stuck out to me, or two parts that really, like when I read it again, I was like, it hit me a different way, than when I read it before. But when the master was scolding the man who took the 1 talent and hid it and buried it, because this is for the people who think, okay, I get $1,200, let me just save my money. Let me just go put it in the bank and put it in the savings account. Now, he must have been talking about the banks pre the 2008 recession. But what he said was, let me go back here. He said, you wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. You ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming, I will receive back my own interest. So basically, what he's saying was you could have put it in some type of investment vehicle that would have allowed that money to keep up with bringing it in here with inflation. Okay. Now you put your money in now it says the bankers in the Bible, but we got to make it time relevant. If you go and you put your money into somebody's bank account right now, you're earning less than 0.0% on your interest. Putting your money in the bank, it's not going to keep up with inflation. So some people say, okay, I'm not gonna go spend on TVs and go to Walmart and go crazy. Like Brother Evan said, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go put it in my savings account and just hold on to it. No, you're doing the same thing that the man in this parable did. Because in a bank right now, they're not paying you enough interest to keep up with inflation. Okay. In fact, I mean, I can go way down the rabbit hole with this in terms of the banks, but I'll go a little bit down the rabbit hole. It's not the safest place to put your money right now. We have seen all of these bazookas that the Fed has pumped out. Stimulus. That our checks, those checks that some people have received and we're going to receive, have come from the Fed, the Federal Reserve Chairman, just simply printing money out of thin air that has no back. And he used the word unlimited. Now let's talk about the principle of supply and demand. The more that you supply the market with something, and if it's in high demand, even if it's still in high demand, but if there's a high supply, the value is going to decrease. So you have to figure out a way to put your money into an asset or into a business or to a skill set where the demand will be high, but the supply will be low. Because when you have low supply and high demand, what happens the value is going to go up.
All right, so we talking about simple economics. So that brings us to a question, right? We're talking about trade right now. This is a simple lesson about money. I've been teaching this for 10 years, right? Money is nothing more, if we can say trade, is nothing more than the exchange. Everybody putting the comments below exchange. It's the exchange of value for value, or trade. That's the same thing. It's the exchange of value for value. What Ms. Renata just said was, hey, you can trade or exchange your 1,200 or part of it or whatever, right? To then capture some value. You're going to exchange the money for something of value that she said is in high demand and low supply, which drives the price of that which is valuable up, right? Although you might still, the cost of what you had got may remain the same. So in the comments below, I'd like for you to share something that you're saying, hey, right now, where we are right now today, you realize that there's something that is in high demand and it's low in supply, regardless of whether you have access to it or not. What's something that's in high demand but low in supply?
I can think of something.
Go ahead, give me one answer in the comments below. Something that's in high demand that's low in supply. And that, might just be a little bit more expensive than it normally would be because of simple economics, which is supply and demand. Now we're gonna let y'all type. We're gonna come back. Okay, I'm gonna let you come in. Let me catch up on the comments, Bryson. Let you come in next. All right, guys. So let's see what you guys saying. Hey, y'all got y'all notebooks? Now y'all know y'all learn something new on this show. You put in the comments on pineapples. That's how we do pineapples. So I seen somebody that had some pineapples, man. Immediately, man. Trade from Thomas Freeman. That's right. Aaron Johnson, man. Trade. Tisha, Sabrina, Miss Perry. Good evening to you, Queen Pamela. How are you? Good evening, Miss Dorothy. How are you? Thanks so much for joining. Trade from Lovey. Wow. You flipped 1,200 into 10,000 in a matter of months.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now we know that it's possible. Well, now we say, well, hey, I understand it happened. Somebody else did it. It must be possible. There's no such thing as impossible. And then now we got to ask, you got to start believing that it's possible for me. All right, knowledge is power, man. Gigi King, trade. That's right. Exchange value for value. I've been teaching this for way too long, right? But it don't change. It don't change. Same as Miss Ava in the house. Exchange. Oh, did I miss? Y'all got a lot of comments, man. That's right. In my country, it's houses. Okay. All right. Something that's in high demand, low supply. Look at that. Lysol and Clorox. Can't find it nowhere. Mask. Tissue. A mask. Toilet paper. PPE. They said, okay, now. All right, now, masks, gloves. Okay, household products. Okay. All right, masks. Okay. PPE. Bread. Okay. Toilet paper. Sanitizing items. Online shopping. Clorox. Trade. All right. Sanitizer. Wow. Okay. High demand, low supply. Come on, Brother Bronson. You got to unmute yourself.
All right. So, first thing, you know, when we're looking at money, I have an uncle of mine. He's a property investor. He owns like 3 or 4 houses, right? About 4 properties. And he said to me, "Listen, sometimes the worst thing you can have is money in the bank."
Amen.
He goes, "Because it's not making you any money." He goes,
Nothing.
"Yeah, money in the bank." He goes, "I don't like money in the bank." Because he said, if my money's in the bank, it's not making me money.
Absolutely.
He goes, "I would rather buy an asset with that money and then get someone to pay me to use that asset." And that's his retirement plan, you know? And he works, he has a job, he has a part-time job, he works like 10, 20 hours a week, if that. And that's just his muck around money. And then he has people board in his house, so that he gets a little bit more money. And then he's renting out these houses that he owns for anywhere between like 150 to 400 and something a week. And that's his retirement plan. And that's why he said to me, he goes, "Bronson, you gotta understand, sometimes the worst thing you can have is money in the bank." And that's what I wanted to come at in terms of, how to use your assets and all that. This whole myth that we can put money in the bank and live off the interest, that's basically paying a bank to steal from you. That's not a good investment. That's silly. And then, I can talk about money in the origins and all that forever. But when you're ready, GJ, you let me get into John 10, because this links. John 10 is the link. John 10 will help us to apply Matthew 25. But I'll leave that for when you're ready.
All right, we're gonna stay in Matthew for just a little bit longer, man, because we got some stuff in here. We seem like we're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere with the paper. That's what's important. The paper getting some. Wow, the worst thing you have is money in the bank. Pineapples, right? Pineapples. Now, let me come back up here. Now, so we have the people. We have, again, the scenario that was played out this morning, right? You need some help. And the investor came and said, "I'll help you because I see you've been working hard. I see you got some ambition. I believe that you can do it." And boom, here's $1,200 to help you get started. It's your head start. You got 7 days. Kids are on the line. House is on the line. You got to turn this $1,200 into $2,400 in 7 days. Now, here's what I know about people. When they get desperate enough, they get creative. Everybody putting down so creative because you have been given the power to create wealth. So power just means the ability. Get creative, that's going to be the create part in order to get, right? I got the power, the ability. Now that's up to you to believe that you have the ability. You can say, "I don't think I got it," but that's what God said. God said, "I've given you, give it." It's a gift. The power or the ability to create or get wealth. So it's already in you. You just have to uncover it, discover it, whatever the case may be. And you've also are giving a seed. It didn't come from you. Using other people's money. That's what we'll say today. In order to solve your own financial problem, or at least get on your way. That was the homework from this morning. I hope we're making some progress in our thought, on our thinking. Figure out, man, what can I do? What can I do? Right? Use your assets. Now, as they're talking about assets or real estate, we got a week. So some of that might not be for your week, but it's still some things to consider. As now, if you go from 1,200 to 2,400 or 2,400 to 4,800, now you start thinking, okay, now I can give me some assets. I can give me some of these different type of income producing properties and assets and things like that, right? But how are we going to get to the first flip? The first flip is what we're talking about. All right. The first flip, Carvel Basin. Now, let's get back to 25 here. Let me go over here. Okay, so I'm gonna read this out of my Bible. So also the man with 2 bags, he gained 2. So you had the star immediately went out. You had the guy with 2 bags, he was able to do it as well. So now we know that we understand that it's possible. Everybody put in console, it's possible for me. We understand it's possible. Everybody didn't do it, but we know that it's possible to do it because some of them did. We also can begin to understand that that in our situation, everything is equal. In their situation, it was given to them according to their ability, but according to your ability will be how far you get as far as doubling your money. Some of you guys are just going to be one. You're not going to double it at all. Matter of fact, you might waste it, spend it, or just use it on your necessities and not even give any thought to what can I do to make this multiply. Some of you guys got choosing. You say, man, I didn't get all the way to 24, but I tried. And I was able to turn this thing around from 1,200. I add another 600 to it, and I got 1,800. That's the two person. But then some of y'all like, I've been here before, been there, done it. I just been waiting on the money. I've been waiting on the capital. I got all the ideas. I wrote down all the plans. It's such a time as this. I recognize what I could trade my money for, and I put that thing to work. And the next thing you know, boom, bam, you off and running. Now, some of you guys mentioned masks. Said masks. I want to tell you a little bit about these masks. Here's a very unique situation as far as it relates to the mask. We have government rendered authority saying, hey, wear the mask. And they have said, here's the type of mask to wear. Then we had the government sign a contract with 3M to say, well, we're going to make sure we supply the mask through 3M, which is an American company. Then you had companies, then you start having these gougers or usury people in the market to start selling the masks or PPE so expensive that they start taking it off Amazon, taking it off Google, taking it off eBay, all this, you can't even buy it there. So now you got to say, well, where can I get some masks from? Or, right, how can I be the supply to the demand? How can I be the supply to demand? Now, for me, I'm just kind of well connected. And so I said, I'm just going to supply the demand. Got masks in on Monday. They were sold out by Tuesday. Right? So it could be that you say, okay, well, maybe I don't have to kind of, maybe I just need to connect to the supply. Maybe I just connect to the supply, and we'll see what happens from there. I'm in Minnesota, I'm in Chicago, I'm in New York, I'm everywhere they need it. We know everywhere they can't get it. But I'm connected to the supply, or I'm connected to the source. And we do something with that. Just a thought, I don't know. Something we could do. Let's keep going. And then we're going to go over to John 10. Now, here's what I find interesting. And I'll come back down to you, Ms. Renata, because I know you've been chomping at the bit, right? He returned to settle the accounts with them. And then he said he told them that well done to the people who doubled, the people that did something, the people that went to work, the people that those that were profitable. That one that was unprofitable. And we could say unprofitable meaning you brought nothing back, or you wasted it all, or you spent it all on some liabilities. Mm-hmm. And you find yourself in a worse situation because not only did you waste it, but you still owe the master back what he gave you. Right? He called him unprofitable. And everybody, he said, in this version, which is the NIV, he said, hey, his master replied, you wicked and lazy. Wicked and lazy. In other words, when I hear lazy, that says to me, you didn't even try. How many guys out there right now, you're saying, you know what, I might not know what to do right now, but I'm willing to try. I mean, I done done everything else. I mean, I've been broke for a long time. I mean, that ain't working for me. I'm willing to try. If you're willing to try, put in console, I'm willing to try. What you got for me, Miss Renata?
No, good, very good point. And taking it back to the verse, I think that's one of the major problems, especially in our community. I'm talking about the Black community here in the United States. And just the world in general, because this is not specific to us, but it tends to be more acute in our community, is that we fear, whether it be investing in the stock market, real estate, investing in a business, investing in gaining knowledge that will produce you more income, because there's risk involved. And most people have been conditioned, like Bronson was saying earlier, they're so used to living in servitude that we become risk adverse. When you seek out, and I can say this in all of my trading, my investing, in my business ventures, I've taken hits before. I've taken losses. That's what happens when you risk something. You stand the chance of losing. But here's the thing: the higher the risk, the higher the reward. You can't get a reward. You can't take something and you can't take money and double it, triple it, quadruple it, if you are not willing to take a risk. And from a biblical perspective, we're talking about money, but let's just, take it back on a spiritual level, because it's just a manifestation in your money situation. You're faithless. Have no faith. Whether you have no faith in yourself, you have no faith in the process, you have no faith in the fact that God will ultimately provide for you if your heart is pure and you step out and you do the work. Even if you fall, you have to have the faith to know that you can get back up. And this applies in so many areas of life, and in money, and in business, and in investing. You have to be willing to take risks. And I think when he was talking to that last servant, one of the reasons that he was so upset with him and he called him shiftless and lazy, not necessarily because he took the talent. I think that if he would have taken, this is me assuming, based on what I know of the parable, if he would have taken the talent and lost it trying to work it for his master, he probably would have been seen more favorably as more than him just taking it and burying it because he had no faith.
Oh, you better come on now, Ronaldo. You better repeat that again, Ronaldo. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah. Let me hear that again, Ronaldo. I got to hear that again.
Yeah, I think, based on what I've seen from the word, you think about so many other parables.
Hold on, Ronaldo. Not just from the word, personal experience.
Life in general. We know we've seen so many stories of people who have put themselves a bit willing to risk, willing to bet on themselves, willing to take a chance, willing to go into the unknown, walking blindly, well, not completely blindly, but walking by faith more so than sight, to accomplish great things. And we've known several of these people that have fallen. And I think in the same vein, if this man would have taken that talent and had a pure faith and pure effort to multiply for his master and had lost it, he probably would have been viewed more favorably than him just burying it because he was faithless and scary. So you got to have this takes a level of being comfortable, being uncomfortable, being willing to try, being willing to fail your way forward, being willing to bet on yourself, knowing that no matter how many times I fall or how much risk I'm exposing myself to, that I have the ability to see my way onto the other side of it. And God, as he's always done for all of us, or you wouldn't be here on this live right now, has the ability to catch you and to put things in your pathway to get you to where you need to be. But I think that the major sin in this guy was his lack of faith and his fear.
And here from a trading perspective, a money perspective, everybody putting also risk versus reward. The risk is he could lose the 1,200. That's it. Just lose it all. Now, for some of us, our risk is we go further than 1,200. We start borrowing and go into negative 1,400, something like that. But his risk wasn't lose it all, but his potential reward, at the very least, based upon the results of the others, was to at least double it.
Mm-hmm.
So willing to risk it all in order to have the opportunity to actually double what I got.
Yep.
And then is when you were talking, Renata, I also start thinking about the seed and putting it in the ground. And I got to actually believe that it's going to do whatever it do when it's under the ground, although I can't see it, and it's going to bring forth a harvest.
Absolutely.
What you got for us, Bronson? I know you're chomping at the bit up there, man.
So remember, these servants were not going to see a single cut of that profit. Let's remember that. In the parable, they weren't going to see it. The deal was, if you make this money for me one last time, you will be free. They were not going to touch a single dollar. See? And so the other two, the wise two, they were like, we're going to be free? Okay, let's do it. Let's make as much money as we can, and then we out. We're free. The last one, he didn't believe it. He was like, nah, Massa won't free me. Master ain't going to free me. He hates me. Nah, I'll throw his money in the ground. He didn't even have faith. He must have been so downtrodden, so beaten down, that he didn't have the courage to even look at the possibility that he could be free. And that is the level of depravity that a lot of the people we know are going through. They don't believe in themselves. They don't even believe in other things. They have no hope. And this is what it was. He had gotten to the point where faith was not even a concept in his mind. He wasn't even willing to try to be free. He was like, this is just another one of Master's tricks. This is just another one of those scams I heard. How many times you heard that every time you tried to make someone hope, GJ? You tried to give someone some hope, and they just looked at you as if you were trying to steal something, as if you were trying to trick them. That's what this guy was. He wasn't even willing to believe that he could be free.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about freedom, Brother Bronson, is that freedom is way more valuable than money.
Far more. Yes.
The type of thing that people will do to be free, and Maya Angelou said it's like this: I know why the caged birds sing.
With freedom, you can manifest anything you want, including money. When your mind can manifest, it's free to see and work towards those possibilities. Your imaginations. Very
and
valuable.
So that's where he was. He was alone. He was lost. He had been a slave for so long he could not even conceptualize how to be free. And all he had to do was one last deal. The Massa had said, just do this one last thing for me. You've made me so much money. I just want you to do one last thing. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that if we were to present to them an opportunity and we had all the facts and we had everything that they needed to make due diligence, they would not come in with us on this deal. Whatever it is, I know there would be. That's why a lot of times I can't talk the way that I talk with some of my family, because I know where they are, and because of things that I've done in the past, they ain't gonna trust me. And that's what it would have been like with this man who buried his talent. When the Massa gave him that offer that was so good, all he remembered was all the bad things. He never remembered the good things, and that's why he buried his talent. He hated the Master. This was his final. F you. You ain't making no money off me no more.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna come to this last piece, and we'll come over to John chapter 10 for you, because this last piece I think is just so great, right? So he said, "Hey, man, you could have left with the bankers, made me some interest, got me some type of return, right?" But he says, "Hey, so take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags." So we say, Bronson, we say, I mean, based upon this, is saying, hey, he went ahead and gave it to the most profitable servant. Right? Take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. So this helps us to understand the concept of the rich getting richer and the poor staying poor.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's actually biblical. Like, I know we don't like it, but I ain't writing the parable. I wasn't inspired to write it. I'm inspired to read it. Those who have, and this is in any area, but we're particularly talking about money, because those who have typically have shown that they know how to manage it. And so they actually attract more to them. They attract more investors. They attract more money, right? They attract more opportunity. Not that everybody doesn't have opportunity, but because they've shown that they know how to manage this money and multiply the money. Who would you rather give it to?
Exactly.
It's very interesting because the one who got 5 talents, he had the most trust and faith from his master. Said, "Hey man, you're 5 because I already know what you're gonna do with it." And he just simply did what he normally does, which is he produces. So I want you to understand. Even Renata came to this, right? Results matter. Everybody putting down some results matter. Results matter.
Results matter.
Right? Now, effort, right? Effort has a part. Like if you tried, you put in some effort, you know what I'm saying? You might not. I don't think you're gonna get an A for effort, by the way. I think you might get a pass for effort, but getting the A for effort, no, results is the name of the game. Now, someone tried to kind of continue. I said, well, listen, there was a time that I read that if someone passing by a tree and that tree did not produce what it's supposed to produce, and he said, hey, this wicked tree cast it into the sea.
Chop it down.
I'm sure that tree tried to produce some fruit because that's all the tree know how to do. That's all the tree does is what a tree does, but it didn't produce. Not that it didn't try, it didn't produce. So results matter. Yep. So even because you don't produce, and in this case, we can say also because you didn't even try to produce. Can you imagine, Renata, like that house you got? Give it to you got to go. You got to get up out of there. Can you imagine, Bronson, that car you driving? You ain't produced? We taking that back. And this is actually what happens. Repos, foreclosures, you know what I'm saying? Job loss. A lot of that has a lot to do with production. Mm-hmm. And then we blame it on the boss. Then we blame it on Countrywide. Then we blame it on the finance company. We blame it on them for our mismanagement of our resources. As we talk about this last part before we get to John chapter 10, Renata, what's your thoughts on this whole dynamic of him who has, more shall be given unto him, and he shall have an abundance?
Absolutely. And that's, it's crazy that you say that. I've literally got this sitting next to me. I have a small little goal. One of my goals is to read.
What's that book called? Creating Money?
This is one that we're reading. I have a book club, and this is one that we're reading. It's called Creating Money, Attracting Abundance, and it's of this very principle. And it's something that I'm working on, increasing in myself, and doing a lot of mindset work. And so what that verse spoke to me is, it hit me different as I've been reading these things and really working on my mindset. It's all about the mind. And I think what that's referring to, abundance is a state of mind. Okay. You've got lack and abundance. You got people who have an abundance mentality, and they understand that resources, that wealth, that opportunities are infinite, that there's no lack, that I don't have to necessarily take from this person so that I can have more. There's enough for all of us to have, and enough for me to be plentiful, and still enough for me to be plentiful. So they have an abundance mindset, whereas somebody that has a scarcity mindset, they feel like I've got to hog everything for me. I've got to keep, like him. He had to keep it. He had to hold on to that talent. He buried it so that because he was more than likely, this is just assumption, he's scared that somebody's gonna take it from him. And when you operate from a scarcity mindset, you're gonna have scarcity. You're gonna be scarce. But if you're willing to share, to put out there, knowing and having, again, the word again is faith, having faith that there is more than enough for me, you, him, her, and everybody else. When you operate from that abundance mindset, it don't matter how many times you lose money, you're going to always make it back, because the diamonds are in your mind, not in your bank account. Okay? And it's from that mind that you create money.
Renata, can we see that book again? I mean, stop playing. Man, see, we got black folk do read. Look at this. Come on now. Creating money, attracting abundance. Who wrote the book? They asked who wrote it, but they can't believe they can't believe somebody actually wrote a book like this.
Sanaya Roman and Dwayne Parker. It's a pretty old book. Actually, my real estate mentor, gifted me with this book.
You know what? Let me tell you something. That's the kind of book that even if I don't read it, I'm gonna attract money. Just because I got in front of me all the time. I got a little son or whatever it is, creating money. Your mind start creating. I'm telling you,
Thin air.
huh?
Pulling it out of thin air.
Pulling out. Oh my goodness. Ooh.
It's not coming out of thin air, like I told you. It's coming from your mindset. It's coming from your imagination. It's coming from your faith. The ability to speak things that are not as if though they were. The ability to take that grain of a mustard seed and move a mountain.
Man.
Which is and according to the laws of physics, impossible. No, nothing's impossible if you can see it in here, if you have an abundance mindset. But when you operate from a principle of scarcity, every little bit that you have will be taken. And you can have an abundance mindset and be homeless, dead, broke on the streets, and you're gonna always get money.
So here's a question. This is a question for the audience, right? We're talking about mindset, right? So now I wanted you to answer this and be honest. Because I tell you, the transformation begins with honesty. With honesty, where you say, wherever you are, you could have a Gideon complex, you could have whatever. You could be 1, 2, or 5, doesn't matter. Do you see yourself doubling money, just $1,200 in 7 days? Do you see yourself doing it? Like, or do you think, that's just almost impossible? I mean, what is your state of mind when I said, man, you got 7 days, your kids are on the line, your house is on the line, you got a master teacher, you got this podcast, you got us that's believing in you, that you can do it. But do you believe that you can do it? That's what I want you to do. You believe. Regardless if and then what happened, Renata and Bronson, we will probably want to talk about this. We start thinking about, well, I don't know how. That's not the question. The question isn't if you have the answer. The question is, do you even believe that you can do it? And so many times we actually start to convolute the conversation. Somebody talked about the words that come out of our mouth, right? We start convoluting the conversation because we can't answer a simple question, which would be, let your yes be a yes and your no be a no. And God says, man, I'll show you the how if I got your faith to believe.
Boom.
Bronson, come on, Bronson.
So look, man, I've done a lot of flea markets like you have, GJ, and I've gone into those markets, the roughest stall, and that you're making bank when all the other storeholders looking at you. I've walked in without $1 in my hand and with stock, and I've walked out with 400 or 500. I've done it before, so I know that I could do it. But it would depend on the how, just because I know where my skill sets are at, and the relationship that I have with God is that He's given me so much. I have to pay more for my miracles now. I have to do a little bit more than the average to get a miracle, because He's given me so much. He don't let me off easy anymore. He doesn't let me off easy. He's done too much for me. He's taught me so much that I have to do a little bit more that you might have to, or that someone else might have to, because He's been doing miracles for me since I was a kid. But I get it, and that's the other thing too, that we have to realize, that the miracle threshold increases the more that God gives. He asks for more each time, and not because he's like a piggy bank or a genie or anything. It's because He gives us miracles because He wants to develop us. By showing us His power, it's meant to increase our faith in Him. And as we increase our faith in Him, we will do more. And that's what it's about, really. I mean, because the reality is, God doesn't necessarily need us, but we want Him, and He loves us. And so if He just keeps giving it to us, then we don't grow. And so, yeah, that's why, like, when you asked me the question a few days ago, Evan, I was a little bit doubtful, because I knew, it was like, yeah, I know what I would need to do to double that money. I know, and I'd bet, and I know exactly how I would do it. I would book a weekend flea market, and I would start on Monday, and I'd be going crazy online every single day trying to get pre-orders. And my goal would be, by the time I hit the flea market on Saturday, that my stock would be empty.
Look at that. Look at that. Give him something, man. That's one way he would do it. All right, we're going to get y'all answers in a second. We ain't done yet now, Bronson. I know you want to come. We're going to answer somebody asked about what we're reading, and then we're going to come to John chapter 10, and then we're gonna get back into this with the people to talk about what they're gonna do, and then I'll provide a couple options, right? I'm not gonna be here and not give you no options. Now, what you choose to do, what you choose, because everybody got different skill set. So you ask what we're reading. So Renata, she's not in the BBC, but she has her own thing going on, and she is my sister. And man, y'all see why. And she reading Creating Money right now in their book club. We have a book club, right, in the BBC, or the Black Billionaires Club, which is a club that we run. We got about 100 members. We have an investment club and all this stuff, and we teach people how to get rich. And it's two things we teach: how to get rich and how to build wealth. Now, some people say, I don't want to be rich. Yes, you do. Okay, you want to be rich, right? That's the short term. You want to get to the money as quick as you can, so then you can have the money start working for you as quick as you can. So yes, you do want to be rich. I mean, everybody. Now, here's the thing: when I go into the school system with your children, and I ask them, "Do you want to be rich?" Only about 2 out of 10 will actually raise their hand and say, "Yes, I want to be rich." Yikes! Yeah. So everybody put down, "So I want to be rich." I just want to make sure that y'all do want. I mean, it's not. It may be difficult for you to actually type because you think you do. It's a mind thing. Do I really want to be? Yes, you do want to be rich. Okay. So what am I reading? So the last book that we read was called Black Fortunes. Okay, Black Fortunes, last book that we read. It's the story of the first 6 African Americans who escaped slavery and became millionaires. That's the book we just finished a little while ago. We're currently reading a different book by Dick Gregory, but here's the book that we're going to read next on our book club, which we'll probably start this as soon as this stuff dies down. I can get some more time to bring back the evening book club. We're going to read this book called Black Titan. This is the A.G. Gass and the Making of a Black American Millionaire. All right, this is what we're reading next in our book club. We read this stuff together. Now, when I do the book clubs, a whole bunch of people show up because, it's not as entertaining as it would be if I was playing a music or violin or something like that. But it's rich. And it's rich, very rich, right? So those are 2 books. Somebody asked Bronson, what are you currently reading, brother? You got to unmute yourself.
Man, I do so much writing these days, I am hardly reading. So, because I'm an editor. That's what I do for a living, right? I have fallen so far behind because when I'm working, I probably will write anywhere between, 1 to 6 articles a day. So that I'm just churning out so much reading. It's crazy. So now it's almost like I'm neglecting myself. I wish I could tell you what I'm reading right now, but straight up, that's where it's at right now. I'm writing so much.
All right, so catch up with the comments. We'll go over to John chapter 10, man. Hopefully I'll get something out of this, man. I said, I know I can do it. Yes, I believe. Yes, I believe. Yes. And so we were just fortifying our faith, man. To know that we can is the starting point of all achievement. Desire makes perfect sense. He says, hey, I have to pay more for my miracle wow. To whom much is given, much is required. He said, to whom much is given, much is required. This is the Bar Darius over at Wichita. Said, man, I think you begin to look for ways that will allow your 1,200 to double if what you stand to lose is more valuable than the 1,200. Man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just heard the same thing. Hey, all right, that's faith, man. Hey, I need to be rich. I hear that, man. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I will be rich. I am rich. I got that. I want to be rich, right? I want to be rich. Now, you see how these dynamics and language have changed, man? I'm already down. I'm just waiting on the zeros to catch up. It's okay. It's all good, right? All right, we're just building faith, man. And some people, it goes from faith to faith. We're at different levels of this thing called faith, man. I got crazy faith. I don't know. I'm crazy in the faith, but I don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, yes, I desire to be rich, absolutely. So where we at, Bronson? John chapter 10. Where we going?
I'm going to read from verse 11, and I'm a King James boy, so excuse me if you will.
I'm 11 through what?
11 through to 14.
All right, 1 second. Let me get it up.
Is it John the Apostle or First John?
It's John the Apostle, so it's the Gospel of John, chapter 10.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there we go. Right. I'm the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep and fleeth. The wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep. The hireling fleeth, because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and have known of mine. Now I'm gonna reread this. I am the best investor. The best investor gives his life for his investments. He that is an employee, not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, see the wolf coming and run like hell. And the wolf catches them and scattereth the sheep. The hireling runs away because he's just a worker. He doesn't care about the investment.
Don't want to face
I
the
am the best investor because I know my business and everyone in the business knows me. And that's what level our Savior is at. We are his investment, and he would die for us. And that is the level of mindset you need to be at if you're really going to be in business. You know, I've been in business and I've been so broke, I couldn't even make payroll. And I had to go to my workers and say, guys, if you want to leave me right now, you go ahead. I promise you I'll pay back every dollar, but I can't pay you right now. That's what level business people are. That's the level of risk. Now, I'm not bagging on your investment, Renata, because I know how you do it. You're a trader and you are very competent. You keep doing what you're doing. But for a lot of us, starting a business would mean buying something, reselling, starting a service, selling that service to solve people's problems. And eventually, we would get to the point where we would need to hire people. Now, when you hire people, that's a whole nother level. Whole nother level, because when you hire someone, you are responsible for their well-being, for their family. You take that on. But a lot of workers don't see it like that. They don't understand the stress that a lot of small and medium business owners go through, because small and medium business owners carry the burden of a nation, similar to the burden that our Savior carries. And so if you want to double this money, you have to stop being the sheep and start being a shepherd.
Ooh,
That's what I'm saying. That's my word for today.
ooh, you gotta stop being the sheep and being the shepherd. So Renata, talk to us a little bit about this dynamic between sheep versus shepherd.
Yeah. So when Brother Bronson was reading that, what came to me was, again, the fear, afraid of facing the wolf. And like he was saying, when you are an entrepreneur that employs people, you're responsible for them, and you can't be afraid. Like, if you're the leader, you can't be afraid. Again, I go back to risk reward, because it's what I face, almost every day, and I can really understand it. It's like, you can't lead anybody if you're not willing to put your neck out there. If you're not willing to battle a few wolves, and that goes the same, with that stimulus check. Again, you've got to understand, and I think somebody said it in the comments, that what you stand to gain is much more valuable than the pain that you'll feel of facing that wolf. And that's, and that goes for anything. That goes for business ownership, real estate investing, trading in the stock market, or just buying and holding, whatever, with whichever vehicle where you can earn a return on your money. Or even another idea. Here's another one. And here's an idea throw out there: angel investing.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to that.
You putting your money and believing in somebody else's dream.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Let me add something real quick. In the comments below, and we're gonna get to some options, some things to consider. In the comments below, I actually want to talk about the wolf. The wolf will be the fear. So that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But in actuality, it's a lot of some of us have wolf in us that just keeps us from moving forward. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share what's the wolf in your life. What's the thing that you say, hey, I'm about to do something. I'm about to do this. And then you may take a step or half a step, and then something comes up, the wolf comes in your mind, and you be like, I ain't ready yet, or something, or a little hesitant, or whatever the case may be. So many of you have been thinking about trying to change your life for a long time, but the wolf keep coming up, and you keep listening to the wolf, or you keep being scared by the wolf, or you keep paying too much attention to the wolf instead of the shepherd, right? So I want you to identify, that's what I'm saying, identify, be honest, we're in an honest place, identify the wolf that's in your life. The wolf that's in your life that comes to blow the house down. And it's really just you. It's really you, you're your own worst enemy. And this is just something that you're still trying to overcome, right? To get into full faith, to then begin to actually move or act or do that which you know you should be doing. Hey, Paul says like this, the things that I ought to do, I don't do. I don't know why I don't do what I know I should be doing. The things that I shouldn't do, I keep doing. He said it's a thorn in my side.
Oh, wretched.
What's that for you? Identify.
Can I speak? Say something?
Absolutely.
So, there was this. I've read it. I think I have it saved because when I read it on Facebook years ago, I saved it. And I'll repost it on my timeline if anybody wants to read it. But it's a proverb, a parable of a Native American man talking to his son or grandson. And he says that in our mind, there's and I forget the other animal, but there's one animal that's kind, that's gentle, that's there to help us. And then there's a wolf in our mind that's there to devour us. Okay. I forget the other animal. Like I said, I will post it so you can read it yourself. But in the end, the son looks up at him and says, I'm sorry, let me go back. The other animal and the wolf, and they're constantly fighting in your mind, right? And then the son looks up at him and says, well, which one's going to win? And then the man says, it's the one you feed. And so I have that came in my life several times. And actually, when I first met you, Evan, because I'm gonna remind you of something. When I first met you, you actually had your followers do a challenge of the greatest secret. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
By Nightingale.
Yep.
And so I have you. I'm gonna come back. I have you to thank for that because you really started a chain reaction over the years in me. Just by me doing that challenge. And basically what he had us doing was just constantly feeding our minds every day, doing the challenge for 30 days. You had to feed the let's call it the sheep. Okay. It's the sheep and the wolf. You had to feed the sheep in your mind. Okay. You had to feed the sheep in your mind. And so a practice, a lot of people say this, but it's like, how do you get over it? Okay. I've got a wolf. I know it, but how do you do it? You have to constantly put what you want, what you desire, what you imagine, what you feel is possible before you all the time, every single day. You have to fill your mind, like with the books, with the word, with pictures. I mean, you got to starve that wolf in your mind by feeding the sheep. So, and you can do that several ways, but that's one way to start. You've got to feed your mind. You got to with what you want versus focusing on what you fear.
Man, it's so freaking powerful. And actually, I want to make sure that we understand that sheep is actually a good thing because what I found about sheep is, number one, they're willing to listen and they're willing to obey. As long as you're willing to listen and obey the good shepherd. Notice that he said, I'm the good shepherd. So there could be some bad shepherds who are leading you astray, who are leading you. And how do you identify bad shepherds? You take a look at the fruit that they bear. And that's typically not much, but a whole bunch of talk. And we keep getting swayed by talk. Now, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to actually get into solutions, right? Because y'all have plenty of time to talk, to engulf, to eat, and plenty of time to think, right? From early this morning, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock this morning, we're now 12 hours past that time where you had the challenge. For those that are with us from part one, the master comes into your life to help you. He believes in you. Hey, here's $1,200 for you to stimulate your economy. You understand what's on the line? I got 7 days. I want to save my kids. I want to save my house. I'm desperate to do something different. I got the ability. God's giving me the power. I can use a little time to think and create if I don't know what to do right off the bat. And there's quite a few things you can do, right? She already started touching on some things. It's like, boom, where'd your mind go when you said what to do? So in the comments below, I'd like for you to share, man, what's just one thing you said, man, here's where I'm going to start. Here's what I'm going to do whether it be with some of the money, all of the money, whatever the case may be, right? Here's what I'm willing to risk to put out in order to attempt. I'm not going to be the wicked and lazy servant and not do anything or keep doing what I've been doing if it ain't been working. But we're gonna put our money to work somewhere, somehow, and we're gonna bring back some type of return. Okay. So I want you guys to think about that. Put that in the comments. Let me catch up on the comments, and then we'll come back down to Bronson. I want to come back to that example that you had and talk about that, what you would do, right? And then I'll come to you, Renata, because you mentioned a couple of things. You was about to go there. I said, no, Renata, we ain't there yet.
I don't want to jump in on
I say, stop being the sheep and start being the shepherd. That's right. You got to be sold out to be an entrepreneur, right? Got an entrepreneur in the house willing to lose it all, right? Confidence, fear of the future. I'm crazy. I can't identify the uncertainty, right? I'm willing to die for my business. She is sold out, right? I'm reading The Guide to Investing by Robert Kiyosaki. All right, wolf, fear, doubt, generational poverty, apprehension, money from Dorothy Gregg, right? Negative family and friends has been your wolf. Okay, I got you. I'm sold out for it. I'm all in. Absolute uncertainty. Uncertain. Wow, that's interesting. Uncertainty. You never know how it's going to turn out. So you're uncertain about the future, which you don't know. Now that will make me, that word uncertain is interesting because I'll say, well, have you been paying attention to history? Because history is a good predictor of the future, but you're uncertain not of the past, not of the present. You're uncertain of the future, or you're uncertain of yourself. One of those two. I'm wondering about that word, uncertain. I get it. I'm just wondering in my head, what? I guess I would say, let's be specific. What exactly are you uncertain about? If you can identify that. My wolf is running out once I get started. Things not working out as planned. Okay, so your wolf is the fear of it not working out as you planned it. Well, that's going to happen anyway. So here's the thing about that part. What if it doesn't work out as you planned, but it comes out better? It still didn't work out as you planned, but it actually worked out better than you planned. Is that still fear? You see what I'm saying? Well, it didn't go the way. Is that pride? It's not going the way that I wanted to go. Yikes. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Seeking approval from others. Okay. I'm going to let y'all going to take some of these. Because these, okay, all right, we want to take that one. Seeking approval from others. Seeking approval from others. That's the wolf. How can we help with that? Renata or?
Seeking approval from others?
Yeah, that's the wolf. If everybody else tell me no, I guess I ain't going to do it.
Hey, it's always going to be there. It is always, you cannot get rid of it. That's been a big thing in my life, having the approval of family. What I realized is this, and I realized that I'm never ever going to kill that desire within me to have the love and approval of my family, because having the love of family helps us to be human. But what I've realized is this, is that I just need to change my love priorities. Love of God, love from wife, love from me, and then everyone else. I've just had to change the priorities because I can't get rid of it. I have tried. But then I realized that if I was to truly purge myself of the desire to be loved from my family, I would turn into something that is not human. Therefore, I stopped.
Okay.
So I changed it. Desire to have the love of God, desire to have the love from my wife, desire to have the love from myself. And if my family can catch up to that, cool. If my friends can catch up to that, cool. If I can make a ton of money in that process, even better.
All right, man. I'll come to you, Miss Renata. Say, hey, here's a wolf. The way I was raised and the family dynamics.
Well, I think, I'll be honest with you. I was blessed to be born in a family that, I've always been the, I'm gonna say weird one, but I've always been the one that has, I guess has a different mindset, if you will, than a lot of the rest of my family. But I was blessed to be in a family who wasn't so completely closed off. They just couldn't dream or see things as big. They saw a lot of possibility, So I was looked at as very odd for when I tried to do certain things here and there. But for me, they always believed in me. And so I always had their support, even if I necessarily had an understanding. So I will be honest to say that I'm blessed in that respect. Although I have witnessed it with my students, with my friends and people that I know. And this is what this is kind of how I would say to handle it. You've got to be mission driven, okay? And that comes from understanding why, the deep why as to why you're doing what you're doing, and once you understand why you're doing with what you're doing, you got to again hold that before you every single day. Remind yourself constantly of why you're doing what you're doing, and then remember this, that in the process, now this has happened to me with non-familiar relationships. If you're going down the right path, bring it back to the word. If you're going to be Christ-like, you got to be willing to be completely Christ-like. And that's not just in your spiritual walk, but that could be in your business, that can be in how you're raising your children or whatever. And if you're going to be Christ-like, no, you will suffer persecution. And a lot of times you will suffer persecution from the people who are the closest to you, just like Christ. He was killed by his people. But whose name is known all over the earth to this very day? Christ. Because he followed his purpose instead of being so focused on the love of his people. And I agree with Bronson. You're never going to kill that desire to want to be loved and want to, belong. And you shouldn't. However, your mission has to be, your desire to fulfill your mission, your purpose, your deeper why has to be greater than that desire for approval. And what often ends up happening, I've seen happen, is when you prove people wrong, fulfill that mission. And once they see the fulfillment of the mission that you've been talking about, that you've been saying that you're going to do, and they see you working towards that mission, guess what ends up happening in turn? You start to convince a lot of people.
Absolutely, man. I always say this, guys. Don't believe me, just watch. Hey, y'all know that song. Don't believe me, just watch. Okay, keep watching. And they start coming along. Oh Lord, he's serious. Yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, I bet. Maybe I now need to jump on. Oh Lord, he taking off. Then they start asking for money. Get up on.
I know.
My right, down here, man. I'm trying to get through these, man. No wolf at second guessing exactly how I feel. I stop feeding the wolf. Absolute failure. What about 2 verses down in John 10:16 about the other sheep? Who are they? Where are they? Did they visit them? Food for thought. All right, fantastic. We don't want to go all the way down to here. Maybe we'll catch that next time. I want to keep moving along with the program. But thanks so much for bringing that up. The other 2 sheep. I try not to feed the fear in me. I feed more of the faith, prayer. I hold out to the goals within me and fill my heart with hope, everyone. But thanks so much for that, Ricky. We know the answer, but unto many whom is given the mysteries of God, but unto them is a strict commandment given. All right, I purchased some dresses for my boutique. I'm going to double. Okay. All right, not getting the check, but investing in masks, crocheting, and sewing now. Okay, we got some answers coming in. TK, how you say that, Bronson?
That's tikatau e hoa. It pretty much means true that, bro.
Okay.
In our language. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. I'm going to invest in my book and get with you, Evan, to learn where to invest smart. Okay. All right. What if it doesn't work out? Okay. So the when you were saying, I think you were saying, I forgot what you said. I got you. What if it doesn't work out? That's real truth. And then change priorities. So we had only a couple people who got some answers. We got 23 people online. We're talking about, man, what how to flip that or double, right, that $1,200 stimulus check if you get one, or if it's not just a check, it could be the money that you have coming in. How does it get to the place where you multiply your very own money? Now, Bronson, I'm gonna come up to you. Because you said, "Hey, here's what I would do, man." What talk to us a little bit about that again. Here's what would you do?
Yeah, sure. So let's say, because my experience has been selling services and then selling product at market stalls. So if I was able to hold a market stall, or even if I wasn't, I would buy some product, and I could maybe like some sanitizer or something or whatever, right? I'd buy some hot in demand product,
Let's not do,
and
Bronson. Let's not do whatever because we're talking about. You mentioned something.
okay, sweet as, yeah, let's be specific, cool as,
Something that's man,
what
lower supply. Go ahead.
right? So I'll try to get me some sanitizer. In fact, I'm actually trying to do that already, right? So I'll get me some sanitizer. And then when I had been certain, when I was able to ascertain exactly how much I could get and in what quantity of time I could get, I'd put down as low a deposit on that product as I could. Then I would go on Facebook every single day with people I know telling the whole world I got this coming by this date. So let's say if it was like a box of hand sanitizer, I would be on Facebook every single day saying that I have X amount of sanitizer coming on this date, delivery from that date, pre order now for a discount, right? And I'd
Now,
be doing that every single day. So day one, day two, day three, all the way down to day 5,
now
right?
talk to us about this pre-order. What does the pre-order do for you?
Yeah, sure. What the pre-order does is by taking orders before the product arrives, it enables me to get some cash flow going, and that I could either reinvest that cash flow back into more advertising or into more product, or even just having it as a backstop, right? I'd keep that money in place, right? And so that's what it would do. It would give me money before the product comes, right? And then at about day 5ish, day 6ish, depending now, if all the pre-orders were sold out, I would immediately stop pre-orders and say, "Look, we sorry, we sold out, but I will let you know when more's coming." Yeah, and then on the day of the planned face-to-face marketing, right, I would then sell at normal price. Keyword normal price. Now, for those that had pre-ordered, right, I would send. They would already have it. I would just send it out to them, right? But for those that are ordering face to face, I would sell it at the normal price. And people be like, why can't I get the same price as the pre order? So it's simple as because you weren't on time.
Hmm.
You know? And the thing is, it's like now you lucky you got this much left. Lucky I didn't raise the price. But that's how I would do it. And but at the moment we're really restricted on what sort of public events we would do. So in the context of my country, I would have pre-orders at a discount, and then when the website or whatever my ordering system goes online, then things would go to normal price, and then I would just ship out. Yeah, and then I'll just deliver to people's houses. That's how I do it.
Absolutely, and then now the pre-order allows you to actually set aside the 1,200 to get back to the investor or whatever you're
Yeah,
talking about,
yeah,
and now you're just talking about the extra,
yeah, yeah, for real.
which could but that would be like that would be if let's say you sell out, right?
Hmm.
Let's say you
Yeah.
let's say you took the, I don't know, 600 or whatever, you sell out. And let's just say, you did the pre-orders at 50%, 50% above your cost of whatever it costs. Let's just say it costs you, I don't know, $2 to get the sanitizer, $2 to get it, you sold it for $5, and that was the pre-order price. And so that would get you, if you didn't sell out, but that would get you close to doubling your money, right? And then what was left, you take it up another 25% because that would be normal price, right?
Yeah.
And now you're above the
That's
double.
right.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
That's how I do it. Yep.
All right. Renata, you had some ideas. What is going on in that head of yours, honey? Because I know you got like 50 million. I did give me one. I don't know, 2, maybe. I don't know.
I guess these are 2. I'm gonna give you 2 things that I've actually done. Okay. So me personally, in our business, I never really sold products. I've always sold services. Why? Because everybody has a skill. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has a talent. Okay. And when you have a skill and you have to get a gift and you have a talent that is in high demand, guess what? More people want to know how to do it. So one of the easiest thing that practically causes no upfront cost, maybe except for advertising, would be to sell your knowledge, sell your brain. Um, that's how we started our first business, tutoring services, just selling my academic prowess, selling what I know, and then anytime I acquire new knowledge, I just sell it. In terms of teaching people. Now, like I said, you may have to put a bit of, a chunk of that stimulus check into advertising. Maybe, there may be certain materials. Let's just say a lot of ladies on this can cook, right?
Oh, I love this, honey. Oh, I'm
Why
ready.
don't you go? We have a free social media platform. Why don't you offer cooking classes if you know how to bake and charge people, money to teach them how to bake your famous cookies or your tea cakes or whatever,
Wow.
Everybody has a level of I believe in this firmly. Everybody has a gift inside them that nobody can do quite like you, and that is where you'll find profit. Sell it. Teach other people how to do it.
Let me jump in. I'm coming before you get to your second one. Now, this is so very powerful. Now, just the understanding this dynamic it takes your level of thinking to another level, to a higher level. So, so there's three things that people buy. I teach this over and over again, right? They buy products, services, and knowledge. That's it. That's it. Product, service, and knowledge. She just said, sell what you know. In other words, teach. Here's the wonderful thing about teaching. And it doesn't really cost. It's not even you putting $1,200, your $1,200 whole check up. You might only have to put $30, $40 of your check up in order to advertise. So we could give you multiple ways. I didn't say you had to use it all in no play. You can do multiple things. You can say, I'm going to do this over here on Saturday. I'm going to do this on Sunday. And who knows? Here's the beautiful thing about teaching, or in some capacity. Let's just say, Renata, you're going to teach how to cook. And you're going to teach your famous cookies, your chocolate chip cookies that are the best around the world, the Renata McPhail cookies. and in order for them to learn how to bake the Renata McPhail cookies, you're going to have a slot open for 30 students, right? And they all got to pay $25 a piece to come to the class, right? You only got to teach that class once, and if we multiply a full class of 30 times 25, right? 30 times 25, that's $750, right? And let's just say you did that twice. You did it Saturday and Sunday. That's your upfront investment. That's $1,500. Your upfront investment may have been $100 to get the word out, to make the cookies look all nice on the marketing and stuff like that. So people are like, oh, I don't want to just bake that. I want to taste that, right? Mm-hmm. And you just, in 2 days and a weekend, you made $1,500. Everybody putting comments on wow.
And then look, like you said, you do it once recorded. Guess what? Now you have a class you can continue to sell over and over again.
Just like writing a book.
The small upfront investment, So yeah, that's the first thing that I would do. And then the second thing, like I said, well, I'm gonna say would do what I've done. Okay. So the second thing I have done in order to, I think the most important thing to be able to take amount of money and multiply it is not only to sell your knowledge, but to pay for knowledge. Is to pay to learn a new skill that'll help you multiply your money. For me, that has been me investing in my education to learn how to trade, and also learn how to invest in real estate. And paying for those particular realms of knowledge have allowed me to take the money that I have and to multiply it. Like I said, not without risk, not without losses, but guess what? And the reason why I say that is because once you have a skill that can produce you money, nobody can ever take that away from you. And as long as you have the right mindset, You could make a fortune, lose a fortune, make a fortune, lose a fortune, but nobody can take that knowledge away from you. Once it's there, it's there.
And you can always come back to it, man. Look at this. It getting hot up in here, man. Teach other people what you know, right? So again, the three things people buy: products, services, and knowledge. And I'll tell you, if you become proficient in teaching knowledge, that's one of the highest paid things. Think about how much people pay for education, right? And think how many people are in these classes or in these institutions, right? That hundreds of thousands of people go into debt for to try to get a piece of paper, right? To say that I'm proficient in this particular skill or this particular knowledge base. And then how about teaching a trade? Teaching not just what you know from a that type of teacher, but showing people what to do. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Bronson.
See, it's like this. You have to leverage what you have first. So for me, I had spent a long time selling stuff to people. So when I formed my first service business, I was asking people for money so that I could sell their stuff for them. Why? Because it was the only skill that at that time that I thought was in demand, and it was the easiest skill of mine to sell, right? And so I can tell by a lot of the comments here that some people, they want to do what we're talking about, but they might feel a little lost. And so what I want to say to them is, first, look at your skills. Don't look at your passion. Screw this whole follow your passion. Look, man, I've seen a lot of people follow their passion. There's a whole lot of rappers that are passionate, but they still broke. So please don't follow your passion. Follow your skills, or if you've identified it, follow your gift. The thing is about your gift is that it's the one thing that you do without difficulty. You do it well without difficulty. That's not from me. That's from Steve Harvey. So yeah, right? But he was right about it. Right? Once you multiply your gift, that's where the money comes from. Now, in the process of you looking to discover your gift, you're gonna have a whole lot of skills. You're gonna have a whole lot of abilities. And while you are discovering your gift, you can sell these abilities and skills for money. I know because I've done it.
Absolutely.
Right. So don't look on the bandwagons. Don't look for what's hot and what's not. No. Disregard that. What are your skills? And the way you know your skills is what your employer pays you to do the most. Whatever it is that an employer has paid you to do the most are what your skills are.
Man, and let me add on to that, Bronson. A couple things to add on that. You said first, I believe first you have to appreciate your skills. Yeah, you have to say, man, I'm thankful for what I do have. Here's what I do have. Here's what I can do, right? And appreciate that and know that there's value in what you have and what you do. It's not trash. And even if it's trash to you, it's someone else's treasure to somebody else. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So to simply appreciate, man, I do this with ease. I take it for granted, right? But man, I mean, Lord, there's some other people that can't do this, and they're willing to pay me to learn how to do it. It could be taking photography, I don't know, right? Anything, right? So once you appreciate what you've been blessed with, right, then you can really say, okay, well, let me see how I can serve other people with this and help other people or teach other people or show other people who don't know this, who would like to know this.
Man, okay? I was reminded when Bronson was speaking, there's a scripture, and I don't remember where it is, but it talks about your gifts making room for you.
Yeah.
And I came across that recently,
Your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men.
What is scripture is that? You remember where that is?
I know Bronson gonna find it real quick. You about to put it on. That's what he did.
Proverbs 18. Proverbs 18, 16.
Proverbs 18, 16. Let me go there for y'all. Proverbs 18, 16.
You know, I'm a living testament to that. I tried to do everything in the book but be a teacher. I come from a 200-year line of teacher. My grandfather, my great-great-great-grandfather built the first Negro school, as they call it back then, in South Texas. I married a man who comes from a line of teachers, and in school I tried to be a doctor, I tried to be a psychologist, just nothing worked. But guess what? People kept coming to me in class because I was, the smart one. A lot of my, hey, can you tutor me? Can you tutor me? And it took me years and wasted so much money in college to finally realize, damn, I'm supposed to be a teacher. Like he said, I was passionate about other stuff, but it was my gift when I accepted it that made room for me. Oh, there it goes. Proverbs 18:16.
Absolutely, man. So let's read that real quick, guys. And I want to get it out. If you can pull it up in your version. I know you King. Are y'all both King James?
Yes, I just
King
read the
James,
new one so people can understand it better. But
All right,
yeah,
well, I'm gonna read it out of this NIV, and I'm gonna read it out of the Message Bible. Proverbs is a book of wisdom. Everybody put in console. I want you to first, when it comes down to this, some of you guys are trying to figure out what you're gonna do. The first thing I want you to do is pray for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. That's what Solomon did. He prayed for wisdom, and then he used that wisdom, right, to build wealth and become the wealthiest man in the Bible, right, and in the world, whatever, right. So Proverbs 18:16 out of the NIV, NIV says, "The gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great." And I believe some of you guys have been running away from your gift, just like Renata was. You've been running away, right? 13:4. Here it says in the Message Bible, a gift gets attention. It buys the attention of eminent people. Other people see your gift even when you don't want to see your gift.
Boom.
Right? What you got over there, Renata? What's that one saying in your version?
Okay, I'm New King James.
Okay.
And you gonna read from the older one.
Now let's get the old one first, brother. We'll come to the New King James. What you got?
Yep. I'll read from King James. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men.
Renata.
A man's gift. Okay, sorry. Hold on, I got a notification. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men.
Now, here's my question to you guys. The beautiful. Wow. What do you think happens when your gift brings you before great men? These great men probably got some money.
Investors.
Boom.
And these men are like, man, you are so gifted in this thing that you do. I mean, you play that harp so well. You sing that song. So, I mean, you make these concoctions and make us feel so great. And, oh, you take the best pictures in the land. I mean, God, look how valuable you are. You tell us a number and we'll stroke the check. Everybody put down, so stroke the check. We say, I mean, look what you have done. What do you think happens when your gift brings you before great men? Woo, stroke the check. All right, so here's the deal, guys. We're going to start to wrap this up, man. I don't want to take up too much people's time, man. Hopefully you guys have gotten something. If you've learned anything tonight, I want you to put in the comments below pineapples. Just simple, pineapples. And then also let us know what it is that you've learned tonight. Hopefully you've already come up. We've provided a couple of different options, a couple of different things to think about, but you have to make this work for you. You have to put you in it, right? We have done it, right? But you got to put yourself in it. So I'm simply asking you this, man. Was this worth your time tonight and why? What did you learn today? What's your takeaway? What's the biggest thing that spoke to you, spoke to your heart, spoke to your mind, that you're saying, you know what? I am different now than I was an hour and a half ago, simply because I made a decision. I could have done a whole bunch of other things. I decided to be here tonight. While you guys are typing that, I'm going to share with you guys some options for you as well, right? Tonight, I got another presentation at 10 o'clock for my club, which is the Black Billionaires Club. It's a private club, but you can be a part of that. You can join tonight. You can decide, hey, you know what? I got all the free stuff. Let me go ahead and like make a little investment over here and see what I can get when I actually invest in somebody that's been investing in me. So tonight I'm gonna be talking to my group about the opportunities of the land right now. I'll be sharing with them how to get rich and build wealth. Get rich first, and then use that to build wealth. Renata talked about, hey man, you can go and buy wisdom or buy a class, right? Well, she first said, hey, she did a class to get the money, and then she probably used some of that profit to go then buy another skill, learn another skill, and then just rinse and repeat. So these are strategies, right? We're talking about 7 days, right? So some of these things are real quick that you can put into action real now. Some of them might take a little bit, because if you're going to learn something, it's probably take longer than 7 days for you to learn it, become proficient in it, right? Here's something that I provided for the opportunity for people in our group, right? The opportunity for them to also sell masks. Let me just give you guys an example. Let me just show you, because I don't, I'm not the guy to just, like just have these conversations and not show people what we're talking about. Okay. So let me see if I can do this. All right, let me do this. Let me pull this. Oh, let me go back. Oh, I got to do this. I got to bring this down. 1 second, guys. See if I can get this up right in the right place. Okay, let me do that. Okay, I think I did it. Okay, now I've been talking to people for a long time about their own online store. I want y'all to see this, because see, some people don't have the faith; they got to see it. This is the last 30 days. I've been pressing forward, saying, "Hey, right? Wisdom's in the street, calling all the simpletons. Hey, follow me." 204 orders, last 30 days. $11,686 in sales in the last 11 days. Providing something that's in high demand and low supply that we got access to. And it's not just masks. It just happens to be that they come there to see the masks and they buy other stuff as well. This will be a part of you. Now, some of you that are here tonight, you bought some masks. Some of you have referred other people. Well, what if you were referring other people and you was getting paid for that? How do you do that? You become a member, you join, and then you share in the wealth. Everybody put in also share in the wealth. We provide as club members. Everybody's in the BBC, put in console hashtag BBC opportunity. Does everybody take advantage of opportunity? No. Is the opportunity there? Yes. Right? So maybe it's not that you go do everything. Maybe, as Renata said, you invest in someone that can do it. Here's another opportunity that I provided. Bronson, you tell me about it, right? I said, hey, we need to go get some more masks. I ain't got all the capital. Here's what we can do. Y'all invest $250 a pop, and what we'll do is I'll pay you back your money plus interest in 30 days.
Better than the bank. Better than the bank.
Tell me about that P2P lending opportunity I provided for the people.
Yeah, so that was an offer for the Black Billionaires Club. We were all invited to make an investment of $250. I am from New Zealand, so $250 US is about $330, $340 in my money, right? And ERGJ had come through for me before, so as soon as he put that out there, I was like, how are you going to get this money? So I sent him the money, but because I'm part of the BBC investment club, I said, look, don't pay me back. Don't pay me back. Take the money, take the principal, take the interest, and put it back into our investment club. So that way, I made money off ERGJ twice.
Flip it.
And I did nothing. I did nothing. All I did was just click a few buttons, send the money, and boom, ERGJ working for me now. For play. I'm messing with you. Yeah, I'm just playing.
So here's the deal, guys. For those that saying, you know what, you realize you got to get in some new rooms. Elevate your mind, elevate your thought, elevate your belief, and get around people who are doing it, not just talking about it, who are doing it, right? Because I ain't seen none of your great leaders show you numbers. I ain't seen that. They talking. I mean, I did this. I've been. They be like, I'm still broke. Why? I've been following for 2 years. That don't make no sense to me. Okay. You just simply go to the Black Billionaires Club, man. Right now, $20 a month. You get first. I'm gonna change it, by the way. I gotta change it soon, but you get first 2 weeks free. I want you to taste and see, because it ain't about getting your money. $20 a month. That ain't nothing. It's about you taking a step and believing in yourself and believing in people that's invested in you tonight. Say, you know what? I gotta get with them, and we gonna make this happen. And I need to be on that call tonight, because I don't know what they're gonna talk about at 10, but I need to be there. That's totally up to you, man. So let's try to get these comments here, catch up, and then we'll get your final words, guys. I think we did a good job of helping the people. And I mean, this is a very powerful, special presentation and discussion, going in the word and seeing this, how it relates to now. It's still relevant. Oh my goodness, I'm super fired up, man. So that check, see if I can get. I'm gonna go. A lot of comments. Okay. Whoo, pray for wisdom. Pray for. Okay, let's see if I can get 1860. Okay. Your gift will make room for you and bring you before our great men. Oh my God, I ran from teaching for years. Look at that, Renata. I ran from. You got a lot of teachers over here, Renata. Pray for wisdom, man. Pray for wisdom. Right? Pray for wisdom, man. Pray for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. Pray for wisdom. Man's gift make room for him strength, and bring us before great men. That's what stroke that check, man. Stroke that check, baby. That's right. Your gifts every time. Stroke that check. Pineapples, he said. Pineapple, stroke that check. All right. This is making too much sense to me. Okay. Pineapple, absolutely. Pineapple. Okay, let's see here. This was certainly worth my time. Don't follow your passion, follow your talent. Love it. Right. You can come back and get to the passion. Once you get, I'm telling you, get the money first. And then use the money to then say, hey, I can finance my passion. Okay. I tried it the other way. I tried going under my path. I want to teach kids and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm not advancing too far because I ain't got the money. When I start getting the money, I start having being able to teach way more children. I don't know why I work like that, but it sure worked like that. Pineapple, man, get rid of the wolf and don't hide your gifts and talents. Pineapples, completing my children's book, starting my service consultation. When is that book going to be done, by the way? Yeah, I'm like, completing it by when? Yeah, give me a date. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, you've been knowing me too long, Sabrina. I don't know how long you've been thinking about writing that book. And you, me, and Lisa Santiago McNeil, and you, that book ain't done. Not today, baby. I already get learning, man. Pineapple, make more money skills I already have. Absolutely. Do something. Make a decision how to be better. Thanks so much, Mr. Mark Down. Learn how to get rich in a month by Renata McPhail. Pineapple. Step out and face fear head on. Absolutely. Wow. I reached out to you, brother, regarding getting some supplies for my new store. Okay. All right. You did? Okay. Fantastic. All right. Make it happen. Great. Did you join the club? Yeah, because it's hard for me to respond to everybody. When the members respond, keep me. I'm like, oh yes. When they not members, it kind of fall through the cracks. I don't know, right? Oh, I have trouble streaming, but this may be an issue with Facebook again. Okay, we got a problem going on here. And to my it's back. Oh no, looks like I have a issue. Okay, whatever. All right, sharing the wealth BBC, share the wealth opportunity. Share the wealth BBC opportunity. Opportunities, all right, baby. See, opportunity, pray for wisdom. Absolutely. All right. Miss Renata, man, your final words here tonight. We just been having a good time, edifying one another, building each other up, going through the word and helping the people. What's the last word for the people here tonight on Church Without Walls? How to flip that check.
It all starts with belief. Believe in yourself. Know that Christ told us that anything is possible for them to believe. That works in the spiritual, and that works in the secular world, and that works in your bank account. Believe and see that you, that you can be wealthy, that you can be free, that you can be independent, and you'll find a way. And just know again. Because you got to be realistic as well with that belief. Just know that you may stumble, you may fall, you may lose, you may have setbacks, but to those that believe, you will overcome them every time. Like the word says, a good man falls down seven. Isn't that the Bible, or is that somewhere else? I'm
right.
But anyway, it's like a good man falls down 7 times but gets up 8. Am I mixing Bible in a common phrase? But you know what I mean. Yeah. So just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. You can do it. You can do it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much, Miss Renata, for being here tonight. I know it's taking some time. You're always taking time for the people. I definitely appreciate it. Bronson, man, any last words for the peeps tonight here on the Church Without Walls, brother?
Proverbs 24, verse 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. Here's the thing, guys. We all have talents. We all have gifts. We all have skills. Your responsibility to you, yourself, your family, your tribe, your whoever, is to identify what those talents are and sell them at the highest point of value, right? And if you do that, you will receive opportunities from on high to help people. That's why I put in my comment, I need to be rich. I can live off very little. I've done it before, and I will do it again if need be. However, I am not here on this planet to serve myself only. So in order to expand my mission, I need that paper. And so do you. Go get it.
Absolutely, man. And I would say, guys, again, thanks so much, Brother Bronson, man, showing up again, man. We're doing this thing worldwide, man. I love it. Global, man. Global economics, global group economics as well. And here's the deal, guys. I say this quite often, that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. The just won't get it. The just won't get it. Right? It's laid up for the just, but the just simply won't just go get it. Well, hopefully tonight we've provided you with some opportunities to kind of get the pathway open for you to go get it. I would also say this: let's stop complaining about what other people aren't doing for us if we're unwilling to do for ourselves what we can. Right? If we have not exhausted all that we can do for ourselves, how dare we talk about what somebody else isn't doing? How dare we talk about what somebody else isn't doing? And there's a prayer that comes from Prayer Jabez, and I think I want to end on this. He said, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. How many of you guys are focusing on things that you can't change? It make you frustrated, getting all anxiety, stressed out because you're focusing on things you cannot change. God, grant me the serenity. That means peace. I need peace with the things that I can't change. Right? I can't change how he feels about me. I can't change what she thinks about me. I can't change what they're doing out there. I need peace on that. Right? But God, grant me the courage to change the things that I can. Well, man, I didn't know it was going to be so scary for me to change the things that I can actually change. So I need courage to do that. So he prayed for peace. He prayed for courage. And then the last part of prayer, well, God, as I said, give me the wisdom.
Know the
difference. To know the difference. Give me the wisdom. Praying for peace, praying for courage, praying for wisdom. So you need the wisdom to understand the difference. You need the courage to actually go do something. You need the peace so you can have discernment on what you should be doing, what you should not be doing, what you should say yes to and what you should say no to. Right? You need the peace to stay on focus, to stay on task. You need the courage to get started. Right? Come to God. Go to the Father. And the peace that passes all understanding will guard your heart and your mind. Yep. Woo! Renata, go close us out with some prayer. We get this thing up out of here, man.
Yes, sir. Father God, we come to you today thanking you again for all of your blessings, all of your love, all of your protection, all of your provision, all of your mercy. But Father, we want to especially thank you for the union of everybody who is on this call. We have edified you by weighing all of the things that we are discussing over the word. We pray that you find our edification acceptable in your sight. We pray that our words, we pray that our ideas, we pray that our inspiration blesses each and every single person that hears the sound of my voice. And we pray that their lives are made better because they had this fellowship with fellow saints. God, we pray that you can multiply our gifts, multiply our talent, help our disbelief, help our lack of faith, so that not only can every person under the sound of my voice be touched, be blessed, be prosperous, and in spirit as well in wealth, but we pray that our gifts and our talents and our wealth become so massive and so electric and so infectious that we go out and we bless and we help hundreds of others do the exact same. And we say thank you finally, because we know that through faith and through effort, faith in you, faith in ourselves, that it is already done. So we just ask that you give us the expanded heart and mind to receive what you have already promised us, Lord. We love you, we thank you, and we bless your holy name. In the name of our Savior, Christ. Amen.
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 All right, beautiful people, man. Y'all know what y'all can do. Y'all know what time it is. I want you guys to remember this. For those that want to join, want to be a part of what we're doing at 10 o'clock, you just simply go to www.theblackbillionairesclub.com and make a decision to join the club tonight. You can do that or anytime in the future. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build, people. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next time, you know what time it is, man. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.